Hey, Donna Patrick, Sunset Hill Tree Farm. Today we're talking about our big compost bins. So we built these really big compost bins. There's 2 square pallets, the pallet made out of pallets, and we layered leaves, mulch. We cleaned out the cow pens, the chicken pens, the rabbit pens, and we put all kinds of green stuff and everything in here. And so we've got these 2 full, and then we have an empty. And so it's time to turn the mulch, time to turn the compost. And so we're going to take all of this and we're going to move it. So Dwayne's going to bring the tractor over, and we're going to be moving compost out of one bin into the other to turn it. And so you'll see that process. So we're talking about composting at Sunset Hill Tree Farm. Okay, so you can see the 3 big bins that we have. So he opened this one up, and you can see the layers of all the stuff that's in there. This is really hot when you get to the middle of it. If you dig down in there, you're gonna get steam coming up even on a warm day like today. It's pretty hot down there. You can see some good composting that's already happened, but this needs to be turned. And so we're gonna turn this into the empty bin, and then we'll take this one and open it up, and we'll move it into another bin also. We have some oak trees trying to grow in here, but that's not gonna work. We're gonna have to get rid of those. So that's what we're about to do. So he's bringing the tractor. He's bringing the tractor so we can go ahead and move it with the tractor. That's gonna be the easiest way to do it, because this is a lot of mulch. A lot of, we cleaned out the leaves. Of course, you see the woods that we have back here, so we have lots and lots of leaves. And then we had a lot of mulch. We have a mulcher, and so we have a lot of that. And then a lot of animal waste, etc. So we're gonna make this happen. Even if you don't have a tractor and all of this stuff, you can still do this composting in your own backyard. You can do very small scale. This is big scale for us, and we love it because we're going to fill up our gardens with it next spring. But we have a lot to compost, so we have a lot of material. Well, there it goes. That's the first one. We got lots more to go. see that the composting has been happening, that it's breaking down. So the wood and all of the carbon, nitrogen, all of the biotic parts of all this are breaking back down, and they're going to turn into really heavy-duty, good soil. Now there's bugs, fungus. Okay, so there's a layer of white fungus right there, and I've heard that's not a good thing, so we just have to be aware, but turning it is going to help. You see that white roly-poly in there? That's really cool. So the bugs are all in here, and they're doing their job. That's what they're supposed to do. They're helping to break this all down. Bacteria, fungi, insects, everything doing their job to turn this into good, healthy soil. Okay, so we're adding water. That's gonna help it really start to break down. He's finishing up over there. I'm gonna see, the last couple of loads that he got were really super steamy. Let me see if I can put this in here so it'll stay. And then look at what he's gonna pull out of here. There's the last couple loads out of this one to turn into the other one. It's super hot, which is good, which is what you want. We've had a nice wet spring, and so there's been plenty of water in and on it. And there it goes. Woo. That's beautiful. And then, like I said, we're moving it, so it's going to be turned. We're adding the water. So it's getting water added to it, which is what it needs. It needs water because we're fixing to go into this hot summer. So we will have to add water every once in a while to keep it going. To make sure that the breakdown is continuing. It will have to have plenty of water. So we'll just go ahead and add it now while we're turning. There we go. Beautiful. And then it can keep doing its thing. Its biological breakdown. And during the summer, like I said, we'll probably move it one more time before next fall or next spring. Yeah, we'll move it in the fall. Then we'll move it again in the spring, and when we move it in the spring, it should be ready to go to the garden. We should be able to take it straight out of one of these bins and straight into our garden. And be just healthy, free soil. And I'm standing in an ant bed. I gotta move. Okay, so maximizing our resources on the farm is important. Composting is one of those things. And here we're using the chipper shredder to take limbs and things that we've cut, and then we're going to break them up. So this goes along with some of our composting. We use it in compost, but we also put it other places that we'll talk about are the heaviest pieces fly out here, and then there's lighter and the least are right here. So it's actually kind of a long oval of mulch. But we'll be using this to mulch trees, grapevines. We need to mulch our tomatoes. I don't know if we'll use cedar to do that or not, but this is the mulch that we got today, and it will be used in our gardens, in our orchards, in our tree fields, somewhere, somehow, because we want to use everything we can. So, yay! We're glad we have a mulcher. Hey, Donna Patrick, Sunset Hill Tree Farm. A few weeks ago, we had this really, really bad storm, and our power was going off and on and off and on and off and on, and finally went off. And Dwayne kept saying, it's those power lines down there. So our neighbor's yard out here where the horses are, there's a huge pasture. It's not just a yard, it's a huge pasture. It has cows and horses, and Tony Llama lives out there, and donkeys, and everything's out there. Well, there are large trees that line the power lines out there. And so every time the wind blows and those trees hit the power lines, then they short out the electricity. And so we all had to deal with that a couple times, a couple different storms. So the power company finally decided, I guess, that they needed to rectify the situation, and so they sent their people out to start trimming trees along the power lines, which is what they do anyway. But so as they came by and warned us and asked questions about how to get out there and all this stuff, you know, Dwayne said, what are you going to do with the mulch? You know, after you cut them down, they always run them through their chipper shredder. And they said, well, what, do you want it? And we said, yes, we do. So we have the bounty of that. We have about 3 big loads right now, and we're still hoping for more. As they're continuing along in our area, in our neighborhood, to cut down more and more of these trees, to trim them away from power lines. So the hope is that we will get more and more of this mulch, because on this farm, we use it. Okay, so here's the mulch, and this is going to be our first use of this batch of mulch. You notice that it has a whole lot of green in it. So that's gonna be awesome when we put some of this in our compost bin, because that is your mix of green and browns, and then you've got your woods in there, you got the heavy stuff to make air holes. So in the compost bin, this is gonna be incredible. And we will put some in there because we have one that needs to be filled up. But out here, we're going to put it in our chicken pen. And so the chicken pen over here is the newest pen that we have. And we filled up the old chicken pen with mulch about 3 inches deep, creating a carbon sequestering ability. It takes in the moisture, it takes in the fecal matter, it gives them something. The ducks and the chickens love to dig through the mulch because critters are living in there and they like to eat them. So in this one, this is our newest one, and we have chickens in here, and we're going to be filling this one up with the mulch as well. It's so much nicer to not have to slide through mud when you're out here, you know, taking care of your chickens. And like I said, the chickens love it because it's constantly providing something new for them to dig through, and critters living in it and stuff that they can dig out of it and eat out of it. And these guys will probably eat the leaves out of this that I'm going to put in here today. So they'll probably love that. They'll eat the green out of it. That'll be good for them. And then, but then again, like I said, it's practical and it's ecologically sound. And as it breaks down, if you can see, I don't know if you can see in here, if you saw our compost video, we talked about this in there, that they've broken down a whole lot of this, and we could take this out and it'd be beautiful compost. I mean, you know, right now that go in a garden or something, because they've already broken down a whole lot, but they've got a whole lot left to go. So we're going to be using this. There's two uses actually. I talked about putting it in the compost, and the other is putting it in the chicken pen for this. And then we have trees that need mulch too. So this will be of good use on our farm.